we've no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name's Janelle and I upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Okay, there's a like class 19. In today's video, I'm so excited because today I'm going to be sharing with you guys this makeup look right here. I wanted to do like a New Year's Eve inspired makeup look, but I didn't want to do like the traditional cool blue tones, and this is what I came up with, and I am literally so obsessed with it. This is probably my favorite look that I've ever done on my channel. Oh, it's so pretty. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, then definitely please keep watching. But before you go anywhere, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified every Wednesday and Friday when I upload. Also, don't forget to check me out on Instagram and TikTok. I'm so active on there when I'm not posting on here. And let's get into the video. Before we get into the video though, I quickly wanted to shout out Dossier fragrances because for New Year, this is the fragrance I definitely plan on wearing. And it is the fragrance Floral Lavender by Dossier Fragrances. If you don't know who they are basically a company that makes literal exact dupes for very high-end fragrances for a fraction of the price. All their fragrances range from like $29 to $49. So the one I have here is a dupe for the popular YSL Libre perfume, which I actually have the real one of and I love it. And the Dossier version smells just like it, wears just as long. I just like having the Dossier version so that way I don't go through my super expensive bottle and I can use this one more often and not feel guilty about it since it's only 29 bucks. Oh, this smells so amazing. So this has top notes of mandarin, neroli, blackcurrant, middle notes of jasmine, lavender, and orange blossom, and base notes of vanilla, amber, and musk. It smells absolutely amazing. And honestly, I would not be able to tell the difference from the Dossier version and the YSL version. I'm telling you, if you have not checked, you want to try a bunch of different scents out before investing in like the real one, I definitely recommend checking them out. You can use my code JanelleL10 and save some money off. I'm gonna spray this one on me right now. Oh, it smells so good. All right, guys, I'm here in my snuggle because this is how I feel the most comfortable. And I want it to be as comfortable as possible for this video because this is my first time sitting down and filming a beauty video without my choca loca. If you don't know what's going on, I recently lost my dog of 15 years. So if you randomly see a tear shed or anything like that, just we're gonna go on about it. But honestly, with my channel, I just want to be more transparent and I don't want to feel like I have to like filter everything or like put on a show or facade. Like I just want to be. I'm gonna start off with my NYX Marshmallow Primer. I really love this primer, especially for these cooler, drier months. I find that this just really smooths out my skin but allows it to stay like nice and tacky and hydrated. I don't know if I want to do eyes first or base. I'm just shaving off a little bit of the tail of my eyebrows to lift them. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of my Got To Be Glued spiking gel and I'm going to run a little bit of that through my brows. I think I want to use my eyebrow pen today. Do more of that like feathery brow look. So I'm just back combing my brows first and then we're just gonna go up. It was so funny because whenever I used to film makeup videos like this, Choco would be laying right at my feet, but like he'd be laying in the most uncomfortable positions. I'll have to insert a picture. Like he would lay on top of like my light stands. I'm like, how could that be comfortable? But he would just do anything just to be like super close to me. I was joking about this with Alex yesterday. Every time I was filming, like he would be knocked out, but the second I would start filming or talking, he'd have to be right next to me. And he was the type of dog that always had to be in the mix. FOMO. He had serious FOMO. And so I swear he was like, who is she talking to? Like, I need to join that party. I don't know who she's talking to, but I just need to be there. Because he'd be knocked out. But the second I would start filming, he just had to stand wherever I was. At try-on hauls, he was always like walking around by my feet in the mirror. Like he just always had to be in the mix. If we had company over and he was like knocked out upstairs somewhere, he'd always had to come down and just like sit right in the middle of whatever commotion was going on just because he had to be the center of attention. I want to do something a little bit different. I don't want to do like a typical cool tone New Year's Eve smoky eye. I want to do more of like a rose gold, slight shimmer, smoky fox eye type of look. So I'm going to take my Lancome Idole concealer to use as eyeshadow primer. Also disregard my nail. My life is a mess. So how was you guys this holiday season? I just got back from Florida 2 days ago. It was funny. I actually missed my flight on the way back. Well, it wasn't funny. It was very irresponsible of me, but I missed my flight on my way back, so I ended up staying there an extra day, but my Christmas was really good. I definitely tried to enjoy it as much as I could. But on a positive note, I get to have another Christmas with Alex's family. So now I'm just going to set my eyelids with a little bit of transparent powder. This one is from Fenty, but any loose powder will work. And I think I want to start with eyes first. All right, so for the eyes, I'm going to start with this Maybelline Color Tattoo. This is in the shade Socialite. It's like a really pretty champagne-y rose golden tone. And I'm just going to pick that up with a shader brush and focus it kind of like in this portion of the eye. I'm only gonna take a little bit of it though. I just want this to be the base of like the other shimmers and stuff that I will apply later. I'm only putting it in this like first portion right in here. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this shade in my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. I'm gonna pick that up with that same shader brush, but I'm gonna use the very tip of the brush. I'm gonna use my Got To Be Glued straight edge, and I'm just gonna start creating a guide because I want this to kind of be like a smoky fox eye, cat eye look, and I'm just gonna work it into the edge and then tap it along my lash line here. Once I deposit all the product, I'm just gonna kind of flick it upward like that. I'm then gonna dip into these two colors here with a slightly fluffier brush. Take that same straight edge again, that way I don't go over, and I'm just gonna use that to kind of blend the edges of that darker shade that we just placed. Just doing short little flicking tick motions like this. And then I'm also gonna work it in this front part near where the eyebrow is. I'm gonna take a clean blending brush and just diffuse everything out. I'm gonna take that shader brush again with that same dark brown color and re-intensify the bottom of this here. I'm now taking this Makeup by Mario, the Perfect Brown Eyeliner. I love this eyeliner. And I'm just gonna focus this at the base of my lash line. Then I'm gonna flick it up kind of where we have that shadow going so it kind of fades into a super dark base. I'm just doing short tick motions, and then I'm gonna use the brush that is on the other side of the liner to blend that out. I just don't have to be perfect because since we're doing this before our foundation, we can clean it up afterward. And I'm also going to tightline my top lash line. I'm gonna take one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. This is the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the shade Amber Rush. This was the eyeshadow that I would wear every day my senior year of high school. This was my jam. That same shader brush that we were using earlier. And I'm gonna tap this color over pretty much everywhere where we placed that first shimmer. I'm gonna spray my brush with some setting spray. This will just help the shadow adhere better, show up a little bit more pigmented, and it will allow it not to have like so much fallout. So I'm gonna take this. I always like to start in the inner portion because I like for it to be most intense in there. And then I'm like just super lightly tapping this. Notice how far down my hand is on the brush barrel so that way it doesn't pack it on too intense. I'm gonna take a smaller brush with that same dark brown and just re-intensify this little wing area here. I feel like with shadows, I always have to go back and forth. Like once you add one, you gotta add a little bit more of the other one, just so that everything stays super balanced and you don't have like one area that's overpowering the other. Now I'm just gonna take these two creamier colors here and put that underneath of my brow bone. This beautiful shimmer by e.l.f. This is in the shade Flirty Birdie. It's like a nice rosy champagne shimmer. I'm going to apply some on the back of my hand first, and I'm going to pick some up with this like fluffy synthetic brush, and I'm just going to pick up some, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to lightly tap it again, starting in the inner corner of the eye like that, and then just tapping it up and out. Ooh, this just gives like the perfect twinkle to the eye. And I'm honestly bringing the shimmer pretty far out. I'm just starting it most intense in here. So it goes like intense and then it kind of fades out and it's more of a blown out versus like a super strategic cut crease type of glitter. This is how I like to wear my glitters. I'm gonna take a Q-tip and I'm just gonna use a little bit of my marshmallow primer, any cream product. You can even take your moisturizer, and I'm just gonna use that to clean up the edge here. I always like to start lower. If you start too close to the shadow, sometimes you remove more shadow than you actually want to. So I recommend starting lower and then working up. That is so pretty. I'm gonna take whatever leftover dark brown is on that small brush we used earlier, and I'm just gonna tap some more in this inner part of my eye here. That is so pretty. All right, I'm gonna speed through the other eye. All right, so we're all cut up. Now we can move on to the face. I'm gonna zoom you guys out a little bit. Also, I'm starting to get hot in my little snuggle. So lately I've been liking to conceal my under eyes with my Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation in the shade Cream Whip because it's a nice like pinky salmony undertone. So I'm just gonna dot a little bit here and a little up here. So I'm just gonna kind of spot conceal with it first, and then I'll go in with like a separate, more brightening concealer afterward. And before I blend it out, I'm just gonna take my beauty sponge and pick up some extra of that product and just start pressing it into my skin. Then over top of that, I'm gonna take my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. And we're just gonna focus a little bit more coverage inside of here. I've been getting super dark in this inner part of my eye. A lot of concealing in there. I'm gonna avoid applying any more coverage out here because I feel like that's all good. And then maybe I'll apply a little bit more down my nose. I'm gonna let that sit there for a second before blending it out. And then I'm gonna figure out what foundation I want to use. I don't know what I want to use today. I'm gonna do my Hayleys Beauty one. I haven't used this one in a while, and I remember how much I loved it in these drier months. So once that's sat there, I'm just gonna blend it out. I'm just lightly patting it into my skin, not smearing it. Just focusing the coverage right in there. You guys have any New Year's resolutions that you're doing? I don't really do resolutions. I just try to set goals for myself, which could be a resolution, but I feel like each year I definitely improve. My biggest thing this year I feel like that I'm trying to accomplish is getting over anxiety. I never thought I suffered with anxiety. I always thought it was just how I was. But this year I started to realize like, no, it's not how I am. This is just this crippling anxiety and fear that I have for literally a lot of times it's nonsense. Like, until my biggest thing is acknowledging it and trying to overcome it. So I'm gonna take my Hayleys Beauty Reform Liquid Luxe Foundation in the shade 3.5. This is a great full coverage hydrating foundation. Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was. And honestly, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I recognize that I started having anxiety just about going places. Like, going to the store would take so much energy out of me. Make it make sense? I don't know. Honestly, just like leaving my house in a lot of circumstances for basic day-to-day tasks, for whatever reason, would make me anxious, whether it was like the driving, the traffic, parking lots, like all of these fears of scenarios where maybe it wouldn't have even been that bad for the day, but it would be enough for me to literally not want to leave my house. Having my dog as the comfort blanket and just not feeling alone when I was in my house alone with just my dog definitely like aided in that. And so I believe too that God is going to use this hurt to force me to grow more and to recognize these little aspects in these areas that I need to be better in. Let me know if I'm crazy or if any of you guys relate to any of this. I'm gonna take my Fit Me concealer to contour. I'm gonna do this trick I saw on TikTok where you'd like do a dot here where your tooth is, and then I'll do a dot up here. I feel like that's a little bit too low though. Yeah, let me know if I'm crazy or if any of you guys, the older I get, the more crazy I start to realize that I am. But I feel like it's only crazy if you don't recognize your issues and if you try to like defend them and you try to keep doing them. They say that insanity is making the same mistakes again and again and not changing. So I'm not insane because I'm recognizing them and I am trying to change them. I'm gonna take this brush by Morphe. And I'm just gonna start pressing this into my skin. Random fears I had. You guys, I used to have this irrational fear of drive-thrus. Like, I would refuse to ever go through a drive-thru because I don't know why, it would just stress me out. This is how I've begun to recognize that anxiety is just like all these fears you have built up in your head, and chances are the fears and the scenarios you're creating in your mind don't end up happening. This fear of drive-thrus. And then when I started dating Alex, he was like, it's so easy. Like, it's really not that stressful. And then after that, I started to do drive-thrus all the time, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, this is not stressful at all. And so I would just create these scenarios in my head that would make me freak out and never do them. And then that creates missed opportunities. So this year, we're not gonna have any more missed opportunities, any stupid, irrational, like psychotic fears that I have. they're not welcome anymore, and it's gonna be an improved year. I think one thing we should all promise ourselves or strive for is just improvement, not dramatic change overnight, because then that's how you like set yourself up for failure and then you like give up. But as long as I'm improving and getting better, even if my same habits haven't gone away altogether, as long as I notice improvement, I'm happy. I'm just adding a little bit more concealer to the sides of my contour, and then I'm gonna blend this out with a brush just to try to keep most of the coverage. I'm just tapping that concealer on the side of my nose contour and then just blending it in this upper portion here. That way the lines aren't too harsh. I'm gonna clean up a little bit under my contour, just like that, and then taking a brush. Comment down below any fears you are gonna let go of in 2022. I'm over here putting myself out there, sounding like a maniac. I wanna know what you guys are struggling with. The eyes always start to come together once you start completing the face. For blush, I'm gonna take a little bit of my NARS liquid blush. This is one of my favorite creamy blushes. Tapping it along here. We are gonna look healthy and glowy in the new year. Next up, taking my Charlotte Tilbury highlighting beauty wand. Any cream highlight will work. I know this one's really hard to find. I'm gonna use this Makeup by Mario F3 face brush and just tap it. All right, I'm now gonna take a little bit of my Fenty, this pressed powder here, and I'm just gonna lightly press this powder inward underneath of my eye before going in with a loose powder. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of my Hourglass Veil Translucent Under Eye Setting Powder. I love this for underneath of the eyes. It just helps really set them, brighten them without being like too dry. And I'm gonna pick that up with my beauty sponge again. I always start with the sides of my nose, and then I press it in and then out. What do we want to do for bronzer? Should we do matte or glowy? Let's do matte. Also, guys, sorry about my hair. Actually, I'm not sorry. It is right. So for bronzer, I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario bronzer in the shade medium. And I'm going to apply it with my Hourglass brush. I'm going to do the smaller side first. Up here first. Taking the Makeup by Mario EF1 brush, I'm going to take the shader brush side and then go into that bronzer and just kind of like set where I cream contoured. I'm making sure to work it into my brow so that it goes seamless and it doesn't just look like two lines going down the sides of my nose. And I use a super light hand with all these products. I'm not applying too much pressure because I like to slowly build the product rather than going too much at once. And then I'm taking my beauty sponge and that powder that was on the sides of my nose, I'm just pressing it around my nose to help blend it. I'm gonna work it in this front part of my eyebrow, work it underneath of my eyes. And then once I do that, I'm gonna take more of that same Hourglass powder and I'm gonna put it underneath of my contour. And I like to do this before I apply the blush. That way, once I apply the blush, I can blend this out and it'll help like smooth out my blush and all of that. Alex bought me this palette for Christmas. This is the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics Rouge Romance Blush Palette. Look at how stunning these colors are. They're all so gorgeous. And these are all right up my alley. Oh, that looks so pretty. I want to take this color, but I want to pop into this one. It looks scary, but I'm going to use a very like fluffy, long-haired brush that will help disperse the blush and not make it so intense. When we talk about the packaging of this though, like the quality feels amazing. And this is the kind of brush I'm going to use to apply it. It's going to sheer out the blush a little bit. So I'm gonna dip into this and then I'm just gonna do a boop into there. So these are definitely very glowy blushes. So if you are more oily, probably won't like it because it does give a really nice sheen to the cheeks. I love that because my skin is definitely so much drier in these cooler months that I need products that are gonna give it life. But just letting you guys know if you are more on the oily side. Now I'm just gonna take that powder and just start buffing it. And this also will help take away any excess shine that I don't want and smooth everything out. I'm gonna take a little bit of my MAC Hyper Real Glow palette And I'm gonna mix them all together and then apply some to the tip of my nose. I have like pretty intense cartilage on the tip, so I applied to both edges because I want my natural nose shape, but I just want it a little slimmer. That's why I contour it. Take some in my inner corner too. Just really work it around in there. Taking my favorite highlight brush, my MAC 137 S brush. I'm just gonna again go in all the colors and apply a little bit to the high point of my cheeks. Not too much because I do feel like I have a lot of glow going on. I'm gonna go into my Makeup by Mario palette again. I think I'm gonna mix these two colors for my lower lash line. And I wanna apply that with that shader brush that we were using earlier. If I can find it, I got a whole mess of products right in front of me. I'm gonna use this straight edge to catch fallout. And this will also help me angle it into these upper shadows here. To be honest, this look is cute or whatever. I'm gonna take that brown eyeliner by Makeup by Mario again, and I also like to focus it in this front third of my lower lash line, and then again on this outer third of my lower lash line. And I learned this trick from Mario on one of his Instagram reels. Guys, we're gonna do brows, lashes, and all of that off camera because for one, I don't know why it makes me angry doing it on camera. Oh my gosh, look at these lashes. So I just applied the Kiss Pompadour lashes. These have been my favorite lately. And I didn't cut them like a half lash, but I did cut them pretty short. I applied them about like here over, so not like all the way in my inner portion, just to really lift the eye. But I didn't want it like a completely half lash either. Yes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my Physicians Formula brown liquid eye pen. I'm gonna go right on top of the lash band just to conceal it and then also to create a little bit more depth at the base of my lash line. And then I'll just do a little on the end. I'm also bringing it all the way to this inner portion of the eye, so that way the line is seamless and it doesn't just start where my lash is over. I'm gonna apply a little bit more of the brightest color in my MAC Hyper Real Glow highlight palette and put a little bit more in this inner portion here. And then once I have that there, I'm gonna add a little bit more of that e.l.f. Flirty Birdie glitter right in that inner corner. Just lightly tapping it. Now for lipstick, I hate lipstick. It gives me anxiety because it's always either like make or break. Either I love the lip color or I hate it. And then like I feel like when you don't like the lip color, it kind of ruins the makeup look. Or we could do like a very pale pinky nude. I'm kind of feeling like a pale pinky nude. Or my Cream Cup lipstick by MAC, but I can't find it. So instead, I'm going to apply a little bit of MAC Modesty. It's like more of like a natural pinky mauve tone. I love this color and it's a satin finish, I believe. No, this is a cream sheen, so they're both gonna be very creamy. And then I also have Flesh Pop by MAC, which is a nice satin finish. I can't remember if this is discontinued or not. If it is though, any sort of like super pale pinky nude like that would work. Ooh, maybe I could even apply this on its own. What do I wanna do? Okay, let's try to apply it on its own actually. Any sort of pale pinky nude. So I'm gonna start off by lining my lips with the shade Oak by MAC. I'm then gonna go a little bit more inside of my lip with the shade Magnetic Mauve by Maybelline. Should I go in with Flesh Pop? I'm kind of scared. Ew, that's pretty. Oh my gosh, my lips are so dry and cracked. What I mean by lip colors can make or break a look. Okay, to balance that out, I colored on top of that lip color with this Kokie Warm Nude Lip Pencil. Okay, and then right over top of that, I'm gonna take this Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Diamond Milk. It is the most sparkly, pretty gloss. I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of my Maybelline Lasting Fix Setting Spray. I do something about this hair and I will be all right, you guys. And here you have it. This is the completed makeup look. I'm so obsessed with how it came out. This is honestly one of my favorite makeup looks that I've done in such a long time. If you guys did happen to enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you do end up recreating it, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram or even on TikTok. I'm super active on there when I'm not posting on here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified every Wednesday and Friday when I upload. I love you all so much. I pray that you have the most amazing and blessed new year ever, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!